Straight from the rip, from cats to spit, I'm catching bodies in a mosh pit. The rebel caught in the crosshairs, I move in silence, black fist in the air. Shit on the mental. Alright, the vocal tone apparatus is on. Here we go. Yeah. Alright.
Open your eyes to the endless possibilities of creating from your centerpiece. Experience your visions brought into reality and watch your dreams unfold naturally. If pictures are worth 1,000 words, let's create a story that's a masterpiece. Caso Visions. Capture your visions. Open your eyes to the endless possibilities of creating from your centerpiece. Experience your visions brought into reality and watch your dreams unfold naturally. If pictures are worth 1,000 words, let's create a story that's a masterpiece. Caso Visions. Capture your visions. Open your eyes to the endless possibilities of creating from your...
This is Sirius MIndz, right? Yeah, I'm at the right place. Yeah, Sirius MIndz. Alright. Back to regular scheduled program.
Greetings, this is Professor Griff. Tune in every weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/C/Sirius MIndz RNTV. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Sirius MIndz for Sirius MIndz, seriously. Peace.
Greetings. And I'm black once again. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, just making some adjustments. All right. This is Professor Griff, Hotep, peace, shalom, assalamu alaikum, good evening, bari gani, free to land, whatever greeting you go by. Some people just say hi. Guess, I don't know. I'm trying to raise your vibrational pitch, though. We got to come up from that high stuff. That's dead language, man. We need to speak some life into these greetings so we can kind of connect with one another. This is Sirius MIndz, of course. I am Professor Griff. Alright, Minutes of Information. Of course, y'all know from the socially, politically conscious hip hop group Public Enemy. I want to thank everyone else, everyone for tuning in. Thank y'all very much. Tonight, and it's 9:06. We on T.I.Me. Alright. I don't know what's up with Shane Shakur, man. He's like, he's got this forgetful thing happening. I say play the commercial. He's like, what commercial? The commercial we just did. We got together early to do a commercial. But anyway, shout out to Shane Shakur. And shout out to 16. 16, you got your work cut out for you already. Alright. Anyway. Lately I've been getting prank calls. People pretending to be other people. And yeah, man. Yeah, I don't even know how that works. Can you play a commercial? Because I got to go downstairs and get something real quick. Can you do that? I'll be right back, y'all. Promise I'll be right back. Alright? Be right back. Right, black. Be right, black.
Greetings, this is Professor Griff. Tune in every weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/C/Sirius MIndz RNTV. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Sirius MIndz for Sirius MIndz, seriously. Peace.
Open your eyes to the endless possibilities of creating from your centerpiece. Experience your visions brought into reality and watch your dreams unfold naturally. If pictures are worth 1,000 words, let's create a story that's a masterpiece. Caso Visions. Capture your visions. Open your eyes to the endless possibilities of creating from your centerpiece. Experience your visions brought into reality and watch your dreams unfold naturally. If pictures are worth 1,000 words, let's create a story that's a masterpiece. Caso Visions. Capture your visions. Open your eyes to the endless possibilities of creating from your centerpiece. Experience your visions brought into reality and watch your dreams unfold naturally. If pictures are worth 1,000 words, let's create a story that's a masterpiece. Caso Visions. Capture your visions.
I am black. Can I just take my phone down there and leave it? Yo, what's going on, man? Energy is something else, man. Alright, feel a little bit better now. I'm gonna tap into that ancestral spirit. Alright. Okay. Alright. Alright, greetings. I had to tap into that ancestral spirit, man, to touch some energy, connect back. Greetings, everyone. It's Professor Griff. This is Sirius MIndz. Of course, you already know. I'm your host, and yeah, it's a lot of good things happening. Today was supposed to be the day that me and 16 agreed that we would go ahead and do the Sirius MIndz Sister Cipher, and yeah, we decided to push it back a week so we could get it together. I'm creating this logo for it so we can do it right. Alright, so every Tuesday and Thursday the channel may have a different kind of look to it, whatever 16 decides to do on her end. Beautiful thing. It needs to have some variety. Alright, yeah, just let's get some housekeeping kind of things out of the way. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I really appreciate that. Sorry for the delay. I had to go. Yeah, just, you know, sometimes you just gotta regroup, think for a minute, like, okay, let me reapproach this thing. Sometimes that happens. Alright, but anyway, tonight we're gonna be talking about reparations part 2. And I think we need to let everybody know, 16 and Shane, that on this particular platform we always give out information. No one's donation, whether it's $1 or $1 million, goes unheard, unfelt. We thank everyone and we send out the information. Alright, but what you guys have to do is email us in order to pull the information out of us. We just can't sit and just send out information. Alright, a lot of times the information comes up right on the screen. Either Shane will put it up or 16 will put it up where you can see it, or you can read it. Or if you're listening to this, I'll go over some of the things that they put up. Alright, in case you're in a truck right now, you're a trucker, you're driving and you can't see this, but you're hearing this. Alright, so I'm very mindful of that. So I want to thank everybody, thank all the supporters. Supporters that's on deck, supporters that watch this later, supporters that may see this a month from now, a week from now, or whatever. So what I'm going to start doing is trying to pile on these subjects, like 2 subjects every time I come on. Alright, which I think is a beautiful thing. I think we could make that happen. Alright. So yeah, thanks to everyone for coming on consistently. And I don't want y'all to think I don't recognize your names when y'all come on every single night, like Alex Little, Brandell, Mr. Bowen, Sir Double B, Paulie, Johnny Taylor, just a whole host of people. H. Mr. Lecter 426, Dale Dixon. There's a few people that come on every single night, and Black Boy, of course. And when I can, you know, like Bryce Clemens and other people, we shout people out. I don't want y'all to think that y'all are out of sight, out of mind. I'm well aware of the people that support this platform. Alright? Alright? Bryce, thank you very much, man. I hope everyone received all of the packages I sent out. 16, did you get that package? Yeah, y'all got to let me know, because I got to go pull up the receipt, track the package, do whatever we got to do. Queen Scott, Quan S. We recognize all of the people that support the platform. Alright? So I don't want y'all to think it's going unfelt. Alright? Yeah. Alright. Anyway. Oh, you got it today. Dang, you could have took a picture. Y'all could have posed. You, B-Dub, Mr. 16. Y'all could have been like, yo, got some Sirius MIndz joints up in the building. Black and gold. Official. Tell me you got the official joint in, for real. Just saying. Alright. So I ordered the stickers and the hang tags. I should have them in a minute. So I want the hat to look official. When people get it, I want them to say, okay, I wish there was a way I could take a silver marker and sign the inside to make it really official. I'm going to work on that. Let me find me some silver and gold markers. Is that cool? Is that cool, 16? Quan, what you think about that? Oh, the picks are on deck. All right. Got you. Anyway, this platform is supported by the people, of course. Y'all already know who they are. Alright, I don't know what happened to my man, Ransom Phoenix, man. Mr. Arthur Ransom Phoenix. I ain't seen him on. Hope he alright. Shout out to Hustle, and of course, 16, and my man Shane on deck. If you would like to donate or contribute to the Sirius MIndz platform, of course, if you're reading the bottom of this, it says donate via PayPal. PayPal.me/Professor Griff Corp, or the Cash App, $ Professor Griff. Alright? Of course, you could just hit the website and donate that way. But I was saying before I had to go downstairs, I keep getting these, oh, I got the clip. Thank you. I keep getting these, prank calls, man. So, you know, I just say to myself, alright, well, like this one. You understand what I'm saying? And this has been happening for the last 3 days. So I don't even know who these people are. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to be mindful of these things. Hold on for a second. And then sometimes when you call them back, they don't even call. They don't even answer the phone. See what I mean? That's how it works. But it's good to know people in IT. You know why? Because
the text now subscriber you were trying to reach is not available. Please
so
leave your
he's going through an app, the text mail app. These people are something else, man. These people are really something else. Alright. So, let's get back to the subject. Alright, we're going to talk about reparations part 2. I got some nasty messages, 16, from some people. From the church-going people, because I said fuck church. I should say fuck churchianity. The whole idea of the concepts of Christianity are ours, because the theft of African consciousness took place, and they stole our African consciousness, put their name on it, put their face on it, and then they had black people who they enslaved and brainwashed, worshiping them. So of course, with a little bit of clarity, there's nothing wrong with understanding that dynamic in the way we understand it. No, Ashwa Kwesi and Dr. Ben, the theft of African consciousness. So yeah, that's Mr. Whispers over here. But anyway, yeah, you're right, Bryce. Just pass on them. I understand that. I truly understand that, man. Richard, I don't know why you burned the American flag. That's not going. I don't even know why you did that. I don't think I'd burn the American flag. Yeah. But anyway, that's your choice, but do your thing, bro. I'm not encouraging you to do it, but I'm just saying that's what you do. Do what you do. We have to understand the dynamic. We can't become the beast that we're trying to destroy. That's what the other people would do. Alright, Richard? That's just a bit of wisdom, bro. Anyway, this channel right here on YouTube.com/the_C/ Sirius MIndz RNTV. Thanks to everyone on the super chat. Thanks for all the donations. I really appreciate it. It truly helps keep this thing going. And now that we're adding on this new edition on Tuesdays and Thursdays, alright, so whatever it is that 16 need, we gotta provide her with that, alright? Hell, if we open it up to another branch of people somewhere else that want to do over the weekend, I'm open. Y'all just let me know. You'll sit with me, 16, and Shane, and we'll kind of work it out. Alright? But anyway, this platform right here, Sirius MIndz, for Sirius MIndz, seriously, is about the business of raising a vibrational pitch of our people's thinking into the mind of the creator and the co-creator. Standing on the shoulders of the ancestors and kneeling at the feet of our elders that still walk among us. Alright? Alright. So every now and then I'll go over here and click on IG so they can be part of the conversation, so we can bring them over here. Alright, there's nothing wrong with that. Some of them refuse to get off the platform over there and come on over. Y'all know I've been begging them. Alright? We need them involved in this conversation. So we're going to ask them to come on over once again. Alright? If you're on IG, alright? Or if you're on Facebook, excuse me. Come on over to www.youtube.com/C/Sirius MIndz RNTV. And we'd really appreciate that, because the conversation is happening right here. Right here. Great filibuster. What's good with you, man? Mr. Young. You get that package, man? Y'all got to let me know if y'all get these packages, seriously, because I know them people be playing games like that. For real. Y'all got to let me know. Alright? We're going to kick it off in a minute. Give me a second. Reparations. Part 2. Alright, y'all. Tonight's show is brought to you by my dude up in Harlem. Alright. Sorry, Higher Infinite Power Healing Our People. Alright. Higher Infinite Power Healing Our People. Sorry, I'm hip hop. Alright. I should wear this tomorrow, but that would have been perfect. But I had to put on the green energy, some chakra, some love, trying to make it happen. Alright. Small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, great minds discuss ideas. And we're in the building tonight to discuss the idea of reparations. Alright? Part 2 of what we talked about last night. We're going to dive into Jane Elliott. We're going to dive into Tim Wise. But, alright, if you're unfamiliar with Mic Check 1 2 1 2, I need everybody, everyone, get a copy of this. Take your phone. Take a picture. Send it out to everyone that you know is an MC, a singer, a producer, a musician, or whatever. Alright? And I need you to let them know that we're on every night, every Wednesday night, at 9 o'clock. Mic Check 1 2 1 2. Submit your songs, submit your videos, and we're going to play them right here. We're going to critique them. Alright? Mic Check 1 2 1 2. Alright? Thank y'all very much. I'm going to put my Mic Check 1 2 1 2 cue card in front of me. I'm going to put my books right here. Alright? And we're going to dive into this particular subject. If you didn't catch last night's show, we talked about reparations, and we talked about, I hate to even mention this dude's name, John Kuhn Miller. Alright? So there's some more of John Kuhn Miller coming up along with some other people. But tonight, I want to give the would-be Negroes that are straddling the fence right now, that really don't know what position that they should take. They're not sure whether or not they want to please their white friends, or they just want to be blacker than black, and run with that crowd, or they just want to come into a deeper understanding of what is reparations and why is it that black people are demanding reparations and we're not begging anyone. Alright? The Japanese, the Native Americans, Jewish people, and other people in and outside of America, especially in America, have gotten reparations. Alright? I'm just saying to you, the petition is already there. The evidence is already there. We've already laid it out. Alright? I'm wearing the green today for the heart chakra because I want people to understand. We're talking about getting rooted and planting the seeds of a revolution. And what is a revolution? The revolution is complete, constructive, conscious, cosmic change. Alright? Complete, constructive, conscious, cosmic change. Alright? If you're on IG or Facebook, I need you to come on over to YouTube. That's www.youtube.com/C/Sirius MIndz. RNTV. All right, this is where the conversation is happening. All right. So now, I'm going to pull up, like I promised last night, we're going to finish talking about the 15 major corporations you never knew profited from slavery. And then we're going to dive into Jane Elliott, and then we're going to dive into Tim Wise. All right. Hopefully this will go smooth. All right. But if anyone would like to hiccup and kick up dust and do whatever you do according to what handler sent you on this channel tonight to disrupt things, that is on you. We're going to push forward. All right. So if you get blocked, cut off, deleted, whatever, it's really on you. I'm saying to you, approach this thing with the mindset of solution think. What did I just say? Approach this with the mindset of solution think. All right. If you think your way is better, then go on about your business and prove to us that your way is better. All right. We're not talking about individualism here. We're talking about a collective mindset. All right. One purpose, one aim, one goal, one destiny, one God, one people. All right. Is what Marcus Mosiah Garvey gave us. And Marcus Mosiah Garvey is the one that gave us the red, the black, and the green. Not with the ankh on it, but I'm just saying. The red is for the blood of the people. The black is the people. And the green is for the land. All right? Different organizations interpret Marcus Garvey's red, black, and green in different ways. That's just a simplified definition of what the flag truly means. All right, let's dive into this subject. So, last night I think we had left off after we talked about J.P. Morgan, New York Life. Where else we was at? We talked about I think we mentioned the Rothschilds last night because we talked about the J.P. Morgan connected. We talked about hold on for a second, Wachovia Bank. All right, and all of these particular companies. I'm not sure if you remember, brothers and sisters, family. If you didn't get the book, all of these companies I mentioned in this book because I broke down their symbols. When we talking about banking and finance, I broke down the symbols. All right. So if you don't have the book, I would behoove you to get the book Symbology. Where can I get the book? Oh, my website, 16. Can you let them know where to get the book from? www.professorgriff.me. All right? You could go on there right now and order the book. The signs and symbols of all of the banking institutions are in it. All right? The gas stations, the banking institutions, and who they connected with and how they connected to one another. All right? So we should know. We have the information right at our fingertips. All we have to do is get it, study it, all right, and act like we know. But anyway, so Wachovia, all right, U.S. Today reported Wachovia Corporation, now owned by Wells Fargo, has apologized for its ties to slavery. All right, many of these companies have already came forth, and back in 2009, and up until recently, these banks are offering an apology to black people. What is wrong with these Negroes now that have become defense attorneys and apologists for white people? All right? If the major corporations are apologizing, then what's wrong with everyone else? All right? This is something that actually happened. So if you one of them kind of dudes or one of them kind of chicks that want to come up here and say slavery never existed, then y'all do your thing. Then when the check is cut, we know not to look for your ass. All right? We'll see you. And I wouldn't want to be you. All right? Y'all go do your thing. All right? N.M. Rothschild, Nathan Meyer Rothschild and Sons Baking in London was linked to slavery. The company that has one of the biggest name in the city of London had previously undisclosed links to slavery in the British colonies. Documents seen by Financial Times have been revealed that Nathan Mayer Rothschild, the banking family's 19th patriarch, made personal gains by using enslaved Africans as collateral in dealings with a slave owner. That's Rothschild's family. Now, y'all go back and connect the Rothschild's family to the same people I talked about in this book, and the same people I talked about in this book when I talked about the Illuminati. All right? We can make the connection. It's not hard to make the connection, man. You understand what I'm saying? We just have to study and make the connection. All right? Let's move forward. Norfolk Southern, also a history in the slave trade. The Mobile and Girard Company, which is now part of Norfolk Southern, offered slaveholders $180, which is $3,379 a day, a piece for enslaved Africans they would rent to the railroad for 1 year. They was renting black people. You know, like Rent-A-Center? Who are the other places that rent? Avis Rent-A-Car? You understand what I'm saying? And the rest of them? They was renting black people. Maybe you ought to hear what I just said. They were renting black people. USA Today. USA Today was found that their own parent company, E.W. Scripps and Gannett, has had links to the slave trade. These are the ones that we know of. Can you imagine all the ones we don't know of? They were renting black people. Proud black people that were made slaves. We're talking 15 major corporations you never knew profited from slavery. All right? Fleet Boston Financial. According to reports, Fleet Boston involved from the earlier financial institutions. Providence Bank, founded by a John Brown, who was a slave trader and owned ships used to transport enslaved Africans. The bank financed Brown's slave voyages and profited from them. Brown even reported helped charter what was become Brown University. Anybody with the Brown University? Oh, that's an interesting document, Shane. Anybody with the Brown University? Brown University was established by a slave master and a slave trader, all right, which money that he made from the slave trade. All right. CSX, the railroad, used slave labor to construct portions of the U.S. rail lines under the political and legal system that was in place more than a century ago. Two enslaved Africans whom the company rented, who were identified as John Henry and Reuben, the record states, only 2 slaves. Y'all need to stop, man. Stop that. More like 2,000. It wasn't no 2 black people that was on loan. What you gonna do with 2? You can't even hire them 2 to move out your goddamn house. Come on, man. Stop playing. Stop playing. Anyway. "15 major corporations who you never knew profited from slavery." All right. The Canadian National Railway Company is a Canadian class railway headquartered in Montreal, Quebec, that serves Canada and the Midwest and southern United States. The company also has a history in which it benefited from slavery. The Mobile and Ohio, now part of Canadian National, valued their slaves lost to the war emancipation at $199,691 on record. That amount is currently worth $2.2 million today. Stop. Brown Brothers Harriman. Brown Brothers Harriman. All right. Do y'all remember some of these companies? The Brown Brothers Harriman is the oldest and largest private investment bank and securities firm in the United States. Founded in 1818, USA Today found that The New York Merchant Bank of James and William Brown, currently known as Brown Brothers Harriman, owned hundreds of enslaved Africans, and financed the cotton economy by lending millions to southern planters, merchants, and cotton brokers. The cotton of yesterday is the oil of today. The cotton of yesterday is the oil of today. Barclays. You know the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Barclay. Brooks Brothers. You know them fine shoes and suits that y'all be wearing from Brooks Brothers? All of them were involved in the slave trade. All right? These are the ones we know of, not to mention the ones we don't know of. So let's be very mindful, all right, that we're only skimming the surface. All right? Don't worry about it. Y'all stand up, take a deep breath, because some of y'all I know are apologists for white people. Tiffany and Company, that's right, Alex, you're actually correct. Goldman Sachs, I'm only skimming the surface. I'm sure if we collectively came up with a list, that list would be as long as my arm. Alright? We only skimming the surface right now. Alright? But I wanted to go into hold on one second. I wanted to be able to pull up. Hold on. 16. You sent those links to Sirius MIndz or my other email? Hopefully you sent those to my other. Oh, I got them. I got it. I want to hear from Tim Wise first. Let's see if we can make that happen. All right. We're going to see if we can make that happen. Tim Wise. So, as I promised, I talked about bringing in people that other people can kind of identify with us on the flip side. Tim Wise on white privilege,
because if you know the history of the whole concept of whiteness, if you know the history of the whole concept of the white race, where it came from and for what reason, you know that it was a trick, and it's worked brilliantly. See, prior to the mid to late 1600s in the colonies of what would become the United States, there was no such thing as the white race. Those of us of European descent did not refer to ourselves by that term really ever before then. In fact, in the old countries of Europe, we had spent most of our time killing each other. We didn't love each other. We weren't one big happy family. The side of my family that comes from Scotland, hell, they didn't even worry about fighting people outside of Scotland. Highlanders and Lowlanders just fought the hell out of each other. So there was no white race, but in the colonies of what would become the United States, what did we see in the 1660s, 1670s? We began to see that Africans of indentured servant status, many of them not enslaved yet, they were not necessarily permanently enslaved, some were, others were indentured like many poor Europeans for periods of 7 to 11 years. They could work off their indenture and then they would be free labor technically. Realized, as did the white indentured servants, the Europeans who hadn't even been called white yet, that they had a lot of things in common, like the fact that they were all getting their clock cleaned by the elite. And so they would get together, more than our history books taught us, to foment rebellion against the elite, to try to get a better deal for themselves on the basis of economic necessity and economic justice. And what did the elite do? When you see that you're outnumbered by black and white folks who are penniless, landless, peasants, you have to do one of two things. You either have to kill them all, but you can't do that because who's going to work? Rich folks weren't going to. They had to get poor people to work. The whole point was to be a person of leisure back in those days. That was the goal, was not to work. So you couldn't kill them all. You didn't want to kill them all. You had to do the work yourself. You had to build your own levee, build your own house. No. Pick your own tobacco, harvest your own cotton. No, we're not going to do any of that. So you can't kill them, but you can co-opt them. And so the elite in Virginia, for example, in the colony, begins to give certain carrots to people of European descent, saying things like, you know, we're going to let you own a little land. Not much, but just a little. And we're going to get rid of indentured servitude. Now you're free labor. And by the way, once you're free labor, you get 50 acres of land. just because you're free labor, see. So we're going to cut you in on this deal. We're going to let you enter into contracts. We're going to let you testify in court. And here's the best of all, we're going to put you on the slave patrol to keep those people in line, right? The idea was you're still going to get your clock clean. We still don't like you. We still aren't going to really empower you or change your economic subordination, but we're going to make you honorary members of this team, and you're going to help us keep those other people down. And so they got a little taste of power, and it did effectively divide and conquer those coalitions. Those rebellions began to stop almost instantly. Fast forward to the Civil War era, you have rich white folks in the South, where I come from, standing up and openly admitting that the reason they're prepared to secede from the Union, and the only reason they ever articulated publicly, ever, was to maintain and extend slavery and white supremacy not only where it already existed, but into the newly acquired, that is to say, stolen territories from Mexico to the west.
All right, now this is Tim Wise who listens to Peace, Brother Mike. What's good with you, man? All right, Ra, how you feel, sis? Hope all is well. All right. So listen, if we get cut off of the Facebook or Instagram, come on over to www.youtube.com/the letter C for consciousness, of course, /Sirius MIndz RNTV. That's www.youtube.com/the letter C /Sirius MIndz RNTV. All right, back to Tim Wise.
That was what they said. Now we lie about it. We say it wasn't about slavery, but it was about states' rights. Yes, the right of the states to keep and maintain slaves, exactly. But back then they had no shame, so they didn't try and cover it up. They openly said it, but once again, the rich didn't want to go do the work. Are you kidding? No. They're going to get poor people to go fight for them. And the poor folks didn't even own slaves. Now think, how do you get poor people who don't even own the shirt on their back, let alone slaves, to go fight to keep your slaves for you? You've got to convince them that their skin is more important than their economic interest, because think about it. If I am a farmer who has to charge you $1 a day or $2 a week to work on your farm and harvest that tobacco or pick that cotton, but you can get a black person to do it for free because you own them, who's going to get the job? Not me. In other words, slavery actually undermined the wages and the wage base, the economic floor of the typical white working class or low-income person. But they were told, if these people are freed, they're going to take your job. No, fool, they got your job. That's the point. And so at some level, working class...
Now, hold on now. I need everybody to put this in context. Tonight we're talking about reparations. All right, if you haven't or you are not familiar with the reparations movement that's presently going on as far as the hearings are concerned, not only the hearings, as far as the movement are concerned, hashtag ADOS has brought the conversation back up and is putting it back on the table. And we're going to study people like Dr. Claude Anderson. We're going to study people like Dr. Ray Winbush. Should America Pay? Slavery and the Raging Debate on Reparations. We're going to study the debate, the debt. What's the brother's name? Put the book up, The Debt, man. We're going to study this thing because what we're going to do is we're going to approach this intelligently. We're going to keep the emotions in check. We're going to try to. All right? And we're going to approach this intelligently. All right? So when we talk about the debt, Randall Robinson's The Debt, his name escaped me, what America owes to blacks. All right? Some people would like to write it off and says, well, yeah, that was then, this is now. Why should we pay for something? We talked about Mitch McConnell. We talked about, what's Lori's last name? Ingram. We talked about Lori Ingram. We talked about John Kuhn Miller. All right, yesterday. So go watch part 1 to bring yourself up to speed on what we're talking about. Tonight, we're going to get into Tim Wise and Jane Elliott.
People being harmed by white privilege. Relatively being advantaged, right? Being given a leg up, being given a membership to the club, but in absolute terms being kept economically subordinated by the very thing that gave them a sense of superiority. How's that for irony? Then,
so we have to understand something. Now, Tim Wise, I'm not sure if you're even familiar with Tim Wise. Go look him up. Google his name right now. Go on YouTube and pull up Tim Wise when he talks about white privilege. All right? Hold on for a second. I think I got... Thanks, 16. I really appreciate this because I got a couple other things that I want to show before tonight is over. Now, we're going to go over to Jane Elliott. All right? Now, Jane Elliott talks about white privilege also. But
somebody stood over you and you knew it was going to happen every day? Or you expected it to happen every day? Or it happened when you didn't expect it to? Or it happened to your kids every day? After it happened to your mother every day? Now, getting right along. Your hand is still up. You still didn't learn anything, did you? Didn't I just say when your hand is up, you are thinking of what you're going to say instead of what's being said? Didn't I just say that?
Yes, you did.
And did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
And did you decide that you were just going to do it your way?
I was...
Wait a minute, you were on a roll there for a minute.
Yes, I did.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I did.
Now, since you choose to not listen to others, what do you suppose we're going to do where you're concerned?
Well, listen to me.
Thank you very much.
Now, mind you, this is Jane Elliott. All right? She's in a room with predominantly white people. Well, I think all of them are white. There's a couple of black people in the room. Well, a few. All right, and what Jane Elliott does is she separates people, the blue-eyed, blonde-haired people and the brown-haired, brown-eyed people. All right? And she's had the superior position given to the brown-eyed people, and the blue-eyed people has the inferior position. All right? Now, these are her students now. All right? So this is what Jane Elliott talks about, and this is the sessions that Jane Elliott has. Let's listen close now. It's a white woman she's talking to, white girl.
Oh, because you're still thinking of what you're going to say instead of what I'm saying. Now, getting right along.
I heard what you were saying.
You're doing it again. You're doing it again.
I don't care.
You're doing it again.
It's wrong.
You're doing it again.
Persecuted her for standing out.
You're doing it again.
Persecuted him for standing out. The only change that ever happens is when people stand out and I stand back.
Martin Luther King Jr. was shot. Are you in any physical danger here? Are you in any physical danger here?
She asked her a question. Dr. Martin Luther King was shot. We can add on about 400 names to that, right? Malcolm X was shot. Medgar Evers was shot. All right, Patrice Lumumba and a few other people were shot. All right, she asked the white girl, are you in any physical danger? No, you're really not. All right. See, but this is how black people have been treated every single day of our lives. But we can't speak up and out. All right. Even if we get pulled over by the police, the mere fact that we know our rights and we want to speak up and out for ourselves, we're running the risk of getting shot by a cop, all right, who has it in his mind that we're inferior, we're animals, we're savages. So they don't see themselves killing a black man or a black boy or a black girl. All right? So I hear this silly ass nonsense about, well, they should obey the law. Well, who was the brother that got shot that had a gun permit on him? Philando Castile? Who was the brother in Walmart? He was just looking at the damn gun. And they called the police on him. Were these people breaking the law? Absolutely not. Did Emmett Till break the law? Alright, did Trayvon Martin break the law? So miss me with that bullshit. For real.
Is that girl in any physical danger here?
And another thing, miss me with the goddamn white girl tears. For real, man. Alright, we had enough of that. At the end of white women crying, men got lynched. Black men got lynched, castrated, hung up, and shot. Alright?
Emmett Till was hanged by his neck after he was beaten almost to death, simply because he made a statement to a white woman. People at this institution...
You've made your point, you're right.
Yeah, thank you very much. What is my point that I've made?
That you can't make generalizations about any place because there's racism everywhere.
That's right. And while it may be... No. You don't come back in here until you've apologized to every person in this room. Because you just exercised a freedom that none of these people of color have. When these people of color get tired of racism, They can't just walk out, because there's no place in this country where they aren't going to be exposed to racism. They can't even stay in their own homes and not be exposed to racism if they turn on the television. But you, as a white female, when you get tired of being judged and treated unfairly on the basis of your eye color, you can walk out that door. And you know it won't happen out there. You exercise the freedom they don't have. If you're going to be in here, you're going to apologize to every black person in this room. And do it now. And the Latinos. Every person of color.
The brother spoke up. He said, and the Latinos. But Jane Elliott made sense. When we get fed up and tired and angry and tired of sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, we can't just walk out. Where are we going to go and what we going to do? All right? Now, this is Jane Elliott, a white woman. The person we heard before her is Tim Wise, a white man. But why is it that white people don't give these two a platform like they give these other people? Like the Richard Spencers of the world. All right? Like the Laura Ingrams. All right?
This country.
Bullshit! No, you're not going to say, I'm sorry there's racism. You're going to apologize for what you just did.
Okay. This dynamic exists every single day in America. All right? And until we understand racism, white supremacy, we won't be able to come to the table to talk about reparations, all right? It's hard to tell black people to leave the emotion out of it because we have generational trauma trapped up in us and we're trying to deal with that and free ourselves from that, but it's very difficult to do that. And I think we need to just kind of understand that dynamic from a real perspective. Now, I know a lot of people, they don't want to. They don't want to come to the realization that maybe we need to sit down and have the discussion about reparations. Some not even trying to hear it. So, when I went through this whole period of understanding reparations, all right, it was on the heels of several black organizations, in Cobra and some other black organizations in the past that put it on the table several years ago. So like I said, this is my third time around with it. All right? So let's listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan responding to Mitch McConnell. And what did Mitch McConnell say? I need y'all to come help me out now. What did Mitch McConnell say? Come on, y'all. We got to stay, listen. We got to stay, locally and globally, we have to be on it. We got to keep our finger on the pulse of what these people are talking about. All right? Facts. Subconscious trauma manifests due to stimulus too. Of course, when it's triggered, it happens. All right? Now, what did Mitch McConnell say? Some are too selfish and brainwashed and not even begin to open up to solutions. I know. All right? Oh, yeah, Cool Ray, unplugged. He said, what about our people who help them to keep us down? We're going to deal with them too. The gatekeepers who are going to have to deal with them also. Okay, we're going to have to deal with them also. All right? We're trying to get the black boot off of our throats, though, right now. All right? What did Mitch McConnell say? I'm still waiting for y'all to respond. 16, see, I'm being patient. Nobody alive today is responsible for slavery. This is what Mitch McConnell said. All right? Nobody alive today is responsible for slavery. So let's flip Mitch McConnell's statement around. Is anyone responsible today that's benefiting from slavery? We just went over 15 companies that y'all didn't even know was responsible for benefiting. And benefiting, not responsible, and they benefited from the slave trade. So are young whites today benefiting from the slave trade? And what happened to our people? He said nobody alive currently is responsible for slavery. He said America giving reparations was a bad idea. No one around today when slavery was happening. This is Mitch McConnell. All right, now I don't know if y'all know old ass Mitch McConnell, excuse me. I don't know if you don't know his track record. Go look up Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell said they gave us Obama as reparations. No, Obama ran a campaign just like everyone else that ran for the presidency and won. They didn't give us anything. We tried to deal with our original sin of slavery by fighting a civil war. The Civil War wasn't fought over slavery. By passing landmark civil rights legislation. We elected an African-American president, he said. So that's supposed to make up for everything they did to us in slavery. Man, stop that, man. Here is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on reparations.
We have to press the government for reparations.
Can you put the minister up, man?
Farrakhan, that's a pipe dream. Well, damn, you better put it in your pipe then. You better start smoking what this is. Because that mess that you talking ain't making no damn sense.
That's right.
You gonna wait around here another 100 years so they can bamboozle you some more?
That's right. Right.
He said, well, 8 or 10 states, let them go out, we go in, and let them take care of us in that separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years. You say, oh, come on, Farrakhan, they won't do that. Listen, they've been taking care of Israel for 55 years. They've given Israel over 100 billion of your tax dollars, and Israel haven't done nothing for them. You mean to tell me we who built the country, we who fought, bled and died to maintain the country, we who gave it art and culture and season it, and you know we can't get along with you in peace as long as we want equal justice? Hell no, we can't wait for you to change. We want a nation. We want to be able to prepare a future for our children. We don't need no rich middle class of Negroes who can't do nothing for the masses of our people. We need land and territory that we can call our own. So reparation gotta be on the agenda. We need land, Mr. President. You got all this Federal Reserve land, what you reserving it for? Yeah, we need cash. Hell yeah, print some more. But they ain't gonna give it to you in your foolish state. What are you gonna do with $20, $30, $40, $50,000 but give it right back to the enemy? It ain't about money. It's about that which will prepare a future for you and your children. You're not gonna be on welfare for the rest of your life. You're not gonna be out here scrounging and begging white people for a job for the rest of your life. But if you got land that you can build a real world out of it for yourself. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, well, I put it there. They may never give it to you. He said, but I want you to know what justice looks like. So they won't offer you a white woman and a few dollars and you think we made it. Some of you Negroes will sell our people out.
That's right.
For just a little position with white people. You won't sell us out. You'll be buying your funeral. The future of our people is not to be compromised.
That's right, not to be compromised.
It would be better that you were dropped in the bottom of the sea with a millstone around your neck to betray the legitimate aspirations of our people. We gotta come out from among them. We gotta leave Pharaoh. Leave him. The hell with him. Leave him. Force him to tell you, nigga, I ain't giving you nothing. If you put it on the table strong enough, he'll come out of his bag. See, today he's smiling. Hi. Hi, brother. How are you? See? But if you say no, wait, no smile, no pat on the back. Yeah, let's talk about reparation here. See? Then you see him change. Face get red. He open his mouth and these teeth turn into fangs. Horns come up. Say, now look, we'll give you a monument for the slaves. We'll even help you Negroes have a museum on the mall in Washington. But we'll be damned if we're going to give you anything. Say, well, fine. You're not going to give us nothing, and we're not going to give you nothing. We ain't joining your army. We're coming out of it. We ain't paying no taxes to support a system that's against us. Hell no. See, now you're throwing down the gauntlet. Now either God is real or we don't need him. God damn it, if God can't come to our defense, who the hell need a God that won't fight for us?
Now hold on. So this is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talking about reparations. And he's kind of laying out some basic things that are and filling in the blanks for a lot of us. So, out 16, I'm not sure if you're reading this like I'm reading it. Obviously, there's someone on here that says they kind of work for IT, and an Asian man hired them. And then a white man hired them before that. And then I think this gentleman's statement is talking about, there's bigger things other than race. All right? Can I ask that question, and maybe y'all can help me answer that? What's more important than race to black people in America? When everything that we do, all right, we have to deal with racism, white supremacy. Everything that we do. Help me out. Yeah, I'm going to let y'all kind of answer that. Come on now, talk to me. Don't go nowhere. Talk to me. If one individual gets a job with an Asian, one individual gets a job with a white person, does that speak for the collective? You understand what I'm saying? And is that particular thing happening all over America? Absolutely not. Asian people are hiring Asian people, creating jobs for other Asian people. All right? To provide a way for them, not us. All right? So help me out. I'm just saying. Name something, a people activity that you're involved in, and there's no racism involved. Help me out, man. Don't worry, like Cat Williams said, don't worry about it. I'll wait. Shit. I got a minute, man. Y'all caught me on the right day. Everything, like you said, 16, everything that we deal with in America, everywhere we go, we got to deal with racism. It is top priority. Hillary says it's all business. Not every white person is a racist, and not every black person is a brother or sister. Get with like-minded people and conduct business. When you get with like-minded people to conduct business and you have to deal with white people, do you have to deal with racism? Business is just not business, Tiffany. Mistrust. It's not just business, because we've had business. We've had the business in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Are you familiar with this, Mistrust? I'm talking to you, Tiffany. Are you familiar with Black Wall Street and the many Black Wall Streets that we had in America? Are you familiar with this? I'm just asking you a question. I ain't picking on you. I'm just asking a question since you say it's all business. So if you're familiar with Black Wall Street, can we pull up some stats on Black Wall Street? Hold on for a second. Let me see how many businesses that we have on Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street. Businesses. All right, Miss Tiffany Trust, this is for you. We had 600 businesses. Are you listening to me? Since you want to come on the post or the program here and you want to say it's all business, we had 600 businesses, 21 churches, 12 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, 6 private airplanes, plus a hospital, a bank, a post office, school, libraries, law offices, and even a bus system for transportation. So to you, Miss Tiffany Trust, here was the businesses that we owned, and this is not the only place we had businesses. What happened to Black Wall Street, y'all? Can y'all please tell Miss Tiffany Trust what happened to Black Wall Street? Leave that up for a minute so Miss Trust can see this. It got destroyed. Thank you very much. They destroyed it. Oh, so you're making excuses, Miss Tiffany Trust, for the white people that burned down Black Wall Street. Well, how about the white people that burned down the other Black Wall Streets? All right. How about the white people that burned down churches? Not only this year and last year, but several years ago they was burning down churches. So stop that, man. Stop that. So these are selective few white people that she said, which is you know you need to stop. Fuck out of here with that. No, we're not going for it, man. We're not. No. No. And so I'm saying to you, Miss Trust, if that was the case, then why can't the United States government look at that, find those people's families, and make those people pay? Now listen, they murdered people. Has anyone been brought to trial, Miss Trust? Talk to me. You know when black people from New York start clapping their hands like, yo, for real, son, I'm just saying. Know what I mean? But listen to me. Why? Who's been brought to trial in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Where are the trials? For murder. For murder. Thank you. So what you saying? You see, I knew to a certain degree we was going to get some apologies, some black apologies for white people on the talk today. But that's absolutely fine because it just lets us know where these people's minds are. You understand what I'm saying? How in the hell do you burn down a whole goddamn city? 600 goddamn businesses. Murder thousands of people and nobody go to court. Nobody get charged for it. I'm waiting for an answer. Don't worry about it, Tiffany. I'll be here for a second. I'll wait. Some of us had 40 acres in a mule. What happened to that 40 acres that each black person was supposed to have? This is sad, man. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program.
You scared to death, nigga? speak up. Come on, man. Then stand up for us like you stood up for the children of Israel. Yes, sir.
Now, come on. Let's understand. So you may not be a spiritual person or a religious person. But where the hell is your guts? All right? Where's your determination to want to be free to govern ourselves? All right? There's a few people that we mentioned yesterday in the program that they got reparations. They didn't even suffer what black people suffered and they got reparations. We're talking about when someone take your name from you, your language from you, where you can't even speak to your own people in your own language, man. When they take your God from you. Here you are in America worshiping somebody else's God. When they take your culture from you. Then deeper than all of that, when they take your mind from you, as Malcolm said, as Khalid Muhammad said. Khalid said Malcolm X said, they said, well, we didn't leave anything in Africa. Malcolm said, yeah, you left your mind in Africa. And we get people on here talking about it's nothing but business. Talk to some of the people that try to do business in America and see how many times they run into roadblocks because racism, white supremacy as a system is blocking them. Come on, man. Don't play that with me. I ain't stupid. Neither is the Sirius MIndz family. We're not stupid. No, the world wouldn't be in a better place if everyone alive right now is dead. That's stupid. That's foolish.
I don't represent no punk God.
No, sir. No, sir.
I represent a God that make rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. I represent a God that has power over the forces of nature. I represent a God that can turn men's minds to thinking and doing as he please. And he real, he ain't no damn spook. So all of you that fear the white man as a God beside Allah, get the hell over here.
That's what I'm saying. Just move. Just move out the way. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with you getting out the way. Because some of us truly want to be free. Some of us are sick and tired of being sick and tired of seeing white officers killing black kids, killing black men, killing black women. Some of y'all will sit on here and offer every kind of excuse as to why we can't get reparations. And everyone else done got reparations. Can we go back to Jane? I need to go back to Jane Elliott, man.
If somebody stood over you, you knew it was going to happen every
I need to go back to Jane.
When your hand is up, you are thinking of what you're
I need to go back to Jane.
Yes, I did.
Now, you're going to say instead of what I'm saying. Now, getting right along.
I heard what you were saying.
I got to find out where I was.
White woman.
Jane.
People at this institution.
You've made your point, you're right.
But you, as a white female, when you get tired of being judged and treated unfairly on the basis of your eye color, you can walk out that door. And you know it won't happen out there. You exercise the freedom they don't have. If you're going to be in here, you're going to apologize to every black person in this room. And do it now.
I'm
and
sorry.
the Latinos, every person of color.
Racism, this country.
Bullshit! No, you're not going to say, I'm sorry there's racism. You're going to apologize for what you just did.
And where's the apology? This is what I was trying to tell someone. First, the apology thing needs to happen. We understand that. All right? And then when they admit that, then we come to the table and we can discuss reparations. So all of a sudden now the weak-kneed Negroes want to come on the program tonight. Why can't we all just get along? Name me a place on the planet where anybody has gotten along with white people. When they come in conquering and raping and robbing and stealing and taking the natural resources from dark-skinned people. Come on, help me out, man. Come on. So, what's the bill? H.R. 40? The House Resolution Bill, H.R. 40? Let's listen to Tim Wise and then let's get into H.R. 40 and then let's close it out.
The present era. This hasn't stopped. This is not ancient history. Now we have people running around insisting that we should close the border with Mexico because if we don't, the wages of working class people will continue to fall. The implication being that the only reason workers are paid like crap in this country is because the border is open. But if you believe that, you would actually have to believe that if that border were closed, that all these owners of capital and industry would just say, oh, well, you figured us out. Here, it's a raise. Do we really believe that the only thing keeping bosses from paying people more is the presence of low-wage, medium, semi-skilled labor from south of this artificial border? Is that really what we believe? We know that if that border is closed, it isn't going to be closed to capital. It isn't going to be closed to goods. If you have a border that can be crossed by capital looking for the highest return on investment or goods looking for the highest price, but labor is chained to its country of origin, how is that going to work to the benefit of working people? By definition, it doesn't. By definition, it immiserates the working class. Divide and conquer. But the best example of all, perhaps, in the contemporary era, in the greater New Orleans area after Katrina. Here you have two communities that were the most hard hit. The Lower Ninth Ward, mostly black community, 94% African American, about 40% official poverty rate, heavy working class community. And right across the canal, St. Bernard Parish, Chalmette, 95% white, also working class, high levels of poverty, economically very similar. And at the end of the day, in those first few days of September 2005, more similar than they probably would have realized. Because when those levees broke, they all got their stuff jacked. They all got their stuff destroyed. But if you had asked white folks in Chalmette, and I've done it, who was the cause of the problems in the greater New Orleans area prior to that flooding, they would have pointed across that canal at those black folks, wouldn't have called them black folks, and would have said, there, that's the problem. 70% of the white folks in St. Bernard Parish voted for David Duke, white supremacist, neo-Nazi, former head of the largest Ku Klux Klan group in the United States when he ran for governor in 1991. 7 out of 10 gladly voted for him because he was blaming black folks for all of their problems, and they bought it. What's the irony? The irony is that while they were blaming black people for their problems, while they were blaming black people for the conditions of the greater New Orleans area in which they lived, nobody was paying attention, least of all they, to the fact that these white elite politicians, either in Baton Rouge or in Washington, whose job it was to secure those levees, to make sure that levy funds were spent in the proper way and that they were spent at all, those mostly white and mostly elite politicians did nothing. At the end of the day, it wasn't just the black folks in the Lower Ninth Ward they didn't care about. They really couldn't have given a rat's ass about those poor and working class white folks either. And yet, when the people of Chalmette, people of St. Bernard Parish got back into session, first time they had a city council meeting, parish council meeting after the flooding, the lights aren't even on yet. The water isn't even hooked up. And the first order of business was to pass an ordinance saying that you couldn't rent property in St. Bernard Parish to anyone who wasn't a blood relative. Now, I'll leave it to your imagination as to why you'd want to pass a law. That law had never existed before. But now that it's been emptied out and you don't know who might come back, that's a damn good way to keep black people out, isn't it? Because if you're 95% white to begin with, if you pass an ordinance that says that, that's a great, you can't say no blacks need apply. You can't say no blacks allowed, but that was an ingenious way to get around the law. Now, they got caught. There was a lawsuit threatening, they got rid of the ordinance. But my point in bringing it up is to say, once again, divide and conquer is working. These white folks in Chalmette need to march across that canal and join hands with the black folks who've been sitting there more than willing to work with them for an awful long time and march on Baton Rouge and march on DC and march on the Corps of Engineers and recognize their commonality of interest. But the whiteness and the lure of whiteness has tricked these have nothing in their bank account white people into believing that they got more in common with the rich white folks on St. Charles Avenue that didn't lose anything in that flooding than they have in common with the black working class folks who live about 500 yards away.
That's Tim Wise. If you want to look up Tim Wise, you can go on YouTube and look up Tim Wise. All right. This article right here is the black woman who launched the modern fight for reparations. All right. The black woman who launched the modern fight for reparations. Like I told you, this is my third time around with reparations. All right. I'm only 58 years old. This conversation has happened. So a few years ago when I started hearing hashtag ADOS, and I'm like, okay. I'm just thinking in my mind, I'm like, they should have studied what happened in the recent history. So her grassroots efforts shaped the conversation and presented a path forward. We're talking about Winnie Madikizela Mandela. Winnie Mandela. All right? Right, and Kwame Ture, the activist formerly known as Stokely Carmichael, attended a tribute to the civil rights leader and black nationalist athlete Queen Mother Moore. All right, are you familiar with Queen Mother Moore? 16. Are you familiar with Queen Mother Moore? Queen Mother Moore left in 1996 in New York City. All right. It says the reparations hearing in the House of Representatives last week turned contentious as experts such as writer Ta-Nehisi Coates traded bombs with politicians including Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. The bill at the heart of the hearing is H.R. 40, first introduced by Representative John Conyers Jr. in 1989. Like I told you, this is my third time around. I was 29 then. Would create a commission to study and develop proposals for reparations for descendants of slaves. H.R. 40. Can we put that up, Shane? H.R. 40. House Resolution Bill H.R. 40. The article is from the WashingtonPost.com. The black woman who launched the modern fight for reparations. We're talking about Queen Mother Moore. We talk based on the work that John Conyers Jr. did in 1989. While Conyers should be lauded for his original efforts to introduce this legislation, this month's hearings would not be possible without Queen Mother Moore, the founder of the modern reparations movement. Indeed, black women have been at the center of the push for reparations for more than a century. Now, there's a woman that talked about reparations prior to Queen Mother Moore, I believe in the 1920s or 40s. I'm not sure. Can you look that up for me, 16? Excluding them from reparations debate blinds us in the multifaceted modern movement. It also runs the risk of omitting some of the most generative and inventive reparations proposals developed to date. You see, if we X out the Queen Mother Moores and the Winnie Mandelas and the Kwame Tures and the John Conyers Jr., this generation today that's taking up the fight without linking it back to them, you're doing yourself a disservice, man. And this is what I said from the beginning, 16. That's all. When the conversation first came up a few years ago, the debate over reparations is not new. This is what I've been saying. Since the Civil War, black Americans have been imploring the federal government to rectify years of racial terror and prejudice. Some followed Callie House. That's her name. Callie House. Can you put her up? C-A-L-L-I-E. Her last name is House. An ex-slave turned reparations organizer who formed the National Ex-Slave Mutual Relief, Bounty and Pension Association to mobilize free men and women to lobby Congress for pensions and land in the late 1800s. Callie House. It's Callie House, 16. That may be another one, Belinda Sutton. But the one I'm talking about is Callie House. Callie. Her last name is House. Why isn't her name ever mentioned? Are these people that's bringing this to the Ta-Nehisi Coates and the rest of these people, are we too ashamed or afraid to tap in to the people that already laid the groundwork? Or are we so interested in reinventing the wheel? Come on, man. We're wasting a lot of valuable time. Others called on the federal government to make good on a special field order number 15, a short-lived Civil Rights War era law that redistributed confiscated Confederate land to former slaves in 40 acres plots. By the turn of the century, the phrase 40 acres and a mule became a catch-all term for reparations claims. What happened to the 40 acres and a mule? If House created the reparations movement, more modernized it and popularized it. If House created the reparations movement, Queen Mother Moore modernized and popularized it. All right? How come their names are not mentioned by the hashtag ADOS? Born in 1898, Moore dedicated nearly a century long life to black liberation. She spent her girlhood in New Iberia, LA, and New Orleans, places known for precarious balance of racial violence in defiant black communities. For Moore, everyday life in the turn of the century, Jim Crow foregrounded the modern iterations of slavery and Jim Crow. As Moore came of age in the 1920s and 30s, she soon realized that the promise of equality, security, and due process, backed only by constitutional amendments, were nevertheless out of reach for most black Americans. They were instead replaced by total social and cultural separation, educational and housing segregation, and expulsion of black folks from economic life and advancement. By the 1950s, Moore took action, boldly declaring that somebody has to pay for the past and present atrocities done to black people. End of the damn story. This brings us to date, right now as we speak, the reparations and H.R. 40. It's 10:28, and I'm sure we don't have to do a part 3. Please tell me we don't. Study Callie House. Study Queen Mother Moore. Study John Conyers Jr. Study hashtag ADOS. All right. Study what's been going on. All right. The article is entitled "The Black Woman Who Launched the Modern Fight for Reparations." All right. We have to begin to have these discussions on a realistic level, man. All right? And you cannot be afraid to speak up and out because you got some white friends. They'll understand. If they don't, they're probably not your friends. Hold on. I was trying to find the conversation that I was listening to yesterday. You remember the one we was listening to in the car with the sister from England, laying it out? I mean, really laying it out. I should have got the name of that discussion so I could have brought it to the forefront to let y'all know. And my point was, it's happening all over the globe. All right, not just in America. Ben had the conversation. What if you could talk louder? Don't worry about it.
Should Britain pay reparations to Jamaica?
Oh, should Britain pay? Yeah. Should Britain, hold on, pay reparations to Jamaica? That's what it was called. To Jamaica. Okay. And they should pay it to India. So hold on.
Now, new technology lets all for... What reparations would you want?
Reparations actually begin with an acknowledgement of the historical injustices by way of chattel, colonial and neo-colonial enslavement. And therefore, one of the things that we are calling for is an all-party parliamentary commission of inquiry for truth and reparatory justice to explore the impact of this history on our present.
And what do you think of the offer of a prison?
The offer of a prison is ludicrous. In fact, prisons were developed as part of the penal system to keep enslaved Africans subjugated. And so this is really a relic of colonialism.
And Peter Bone, it's a pretty crass thing to go and do, isn't it? I mean, popular in Britain to get rid of villains, but...
Well, it's not popular to build. It's not popular to build a prison in Jamaica at taxpayers' expense. Look, people have come over from Jamaica. Some of them have done things that are very bad, violence and drugs. They're in prison. They should be sent back to Jamaica. But there's no question that taxpayers should provide a prison. It's one of it wouldn't, whether it's Jamaica or anywhere else. If you do wrong, and you should be sent home. And
but what about the wider points about reparations? And
well, I think that's totally. I mean, that's
colonial.
Yeah, I mean, that is a totally different issue, and I mean, we just put the prisoners just, you know, what it is, I think, just a mistake. But when we're talking about the Prime Minister's over there promoting goodwill and investing in the infrastructure of Jamaica. But when I chaired the all-party group on human trafficking, you know, against modern-day slavery, there are more slaves today than there were at the time of Wilberforce. And what we should be doing is ending that slavery. And of course, the Prime Minister has led, we have a modern-day slavery bill. And I think that's what we should be looking to the future, not worrying about the past.
But what's happening in terms of who has influence there? I mean, if you look at the difference between the way Britain is behaving and the way China is behaving in Jamaica, does Britain really have any influence there?
Yes, Britain has huge influence. Many of the institutions, the fact that we still have Queen Elizabeth II as the head, the fact that we still follow the Westminster parliamentary model, the education system is still built on colonial education. So Britain has a huge influence politically and economically. And a lot of British companies are in the region and are the ones who are really going to benefit from many of these packages.
Doesn't that precisely place more responsibility on David Cameron to do a little bit more, to think a bit bigger?
Well, I think he is, but I think the idea of reparations is wrong. I mean, I know that there's a group of MPs out in Jamaica at the moment, and there's a lot of close contact between the two countries. But
why is it wrong? I mean, you just gloss over that very quickly. I mean, this is a country that wouldn't exist as it is were it not for Britain's past behaviour.
But I don't think we should be looking backwards hundreds of years. We should be looking to the problems we have now, which the Prime Minister is addressing. And on the question of slavery, we should be doing a lot more to end this evil. And let's face it, slavery is worse today than it was 100 years ago.
I beg to differ. We are the descendants of the enslaved, and it's quite clear that you're quite ignorant about our condition today. There have been 2 reparations marches that have been taken place in Britain, in London, from Brixton to the Houses of Parliament on the 1st of August. This has been ignored because they want to actually deny that there is a reparations movement. Well, we exist, and we intend for our voices to be heard.
Peter Byrne?
Well, and if you're saying, was slavery a bad thing and was it terrible? Of course, but everyone accepts that. And surely what we should be addressing now, as the Prime Minister is the problems Jamaica have with infrastructure and development, and that's what we're doing. We shouldn't be, I just don't see what the advantages of what you're saying. And I've not
Just
had...
in 10 seconds, Esther, if you will. I mean,
When you have a Prime Minister whose family benefited in compensation, and you have...
really?
What do you mean, really?
I mean, that is the most extreme argument.
It is not an extreme argument.
If that's what you're basing on it, you're ruining your
of
arm.
our humanity. And this is it's ludicrous.
I think you're living in the past. We need to live in the future.
We're talking about contemporary legacy.
I'm very sad to say we're out of time, because we could all...
This guy keeps harping on the fact that we're living in the past. Just to let y'all know before I sign out tonight, the present is built on the past. This is why you have history books. This is why you have museums. This is why, you understand what I'm saying? When we start to exist in the present, we can only pull from our experiences from the past in order to build a future. None of these white people that I studied recently dealing with reparations, this particular subject, never want to talk about the past. They just don't want to talk about the past. Sad. This is Professor Griff. This is Sirius MIndz for Sirius MIndz. Seriously, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow night for the mic check 1 2 1 2. That's mic check 1 2 1 2. Now 16. I gotta do something before I check out of here. We need 24 names for this thing on Sunday, this preparation class. Did you get the flyer? You didn't check Sirius MIndz for the flyer? I sent it to you. Alright, so 16, you got the flyer, right? Alright, so I'm gonna put the flyer up, I'm gonna put the flyer out. Alright. It's emergency preparedness class, like the survival class I did several years ago. All right, it's happening on Zoom.us this Sunday at 7 o'clock, June 30th. All right, 7 p.m. If you want to sign up for the class, all right, go to www.paypal.me/Professor Griff Corp. All right, I'm going to send out information to, I've sent out information to everybody that's associated with Sirius MIndz. I done sent it out 2 or 3 times. If you want to sign up for the class, peace, Phaedra, what's up? What's good with you? Alright, peace, Paulette. What's happening? Alright, so this Sunday, June 30th, 7 o'clock. Alright, the emergency preparedness class. We're going to go over urban survival. We're going to be talking about techniques. We're going to be talking about the bug out bag, the black pack. We're going to talk about a few things. This Sunday, online, right here. Alright, on the Zoom US software that we're going to be using. So meet us there. Carolyn Grady, what's good with you? Alright? You can send an email to siriusmindsinfo@gmail.com, or you can just call me directly. 678-557-2919. 678-557-2919. Or go to www.professorgriff.me. Alright? Alright. It's already 10:38. I'm well overdue. I got to get out of here. I love y'all to life, brothers and sisters. Alright, this is Professor Griff for Sirius MIndz for Sirius MIndz. Alright, 16, we'll talk. Alright, next, this Thursday, we're going to actually launch the Sirius MIndz Sister Cypher. Alright, and then Tuesday, 16 is going to come on and do her thing. But this Thursday, we're going to be broadcasting live from a new bookstore. And Soleil is going to be talking about embodying the goddess. Alright, this is Professor Griff. I love y'all to life. Alright, as we used to say back in the day, I'm Audi 5. Jeez, man. Peace.
Open your eyes to the endless possibilities of creating from your centerpiece. Experience your visions brought into reality and watch your dreams unfold naturally. If pictures are worth 1,000 words, let's create a story that's a masterpiece. Casso Visions. Capture your visions.
Let's go. Alright.
Under the veil of what people call beautiful lives a broken and empty soul. There's a whole lot of pretty faces all around the world, but that's only the physical. You'll never truly know if someone's beautiful until you look under the veil.
Under the veil is tales, lies, and secrets. Into the heart and pales dies you're seeking. But what you thinking is veil, blind and bleak when it's your mind and your soul that needs to be deep in. See beauty skin deep, you're a shallow pond, and there's an ocean of wisdom you need to paddle on. Take a dive in, many jewels there. Your only interest is surface shit and fool's fair. You're a goddess, take your rightful place. Tear the veil and stare a picture right in the face. Divine feminine, can't be suppressed. Shakti is the energy that we manifest. Queens rule here, we the Devi tribe. Take a hit of this tantra and feel the Kali vibe. Peel away the cloak, scrape away the scales, and see the truth of what lies behind all the fallen veils. Trying to be, cause the Atman is blanketed like a canopy. Antithetical, saying that you real when your identity lies in all that you don't reveal. Third eye blind, eyes to contact, so you can open the lotus up like a compact. Become an offering, something more to give than the physical body that can't forever live. Rooted in passion, before the right cause. Spiritual wisdom and knowledge that make you have pause and let it transmute. Metamorphosize, see the truth of awakening right before your eyes. Different perception, the real magic. For you to miss all this glory, it would be tragic. So get to tearing the veil as if it was fabric, and find yourself on the path, walking the labyrinth.
Something more to give than the physical body that can't forever live. Rooted in passion, before the right cause. Spiritual wisdom and knowledge that make you